Hello everyone. Welcome to Discover the Emotion Code, Energy Healing 101. Well, who's talking to you? I am Connie Barton, and I have had 20 years of energy healing experience, and it has been such a delight to work as a certified body code practitioner for Dr. Bradley Nelson and work with many of you. So today what we'll discuss is what we believe your true nature really is and the hidden imbalances that could be causing your issues and our one-step energy healing method, and also how you could discover your energy healing superpower. Well, all right. Some of you may be asking, how did all of this begin? And this is Dr. Brad when he was a young teenager, maybe about 13 years old, and he was diagnosed with kidney disease. His parents took him to the hospital, and the doctors told him that there was just no treatment for what he had. And they told him to be careful, not to run or play too hard because it could be dangerous, as he had a 50% chance of living or dying. So, can you imagine being 13 years old and being told that about your life? That would be pretty shocking for most of us. And he remembered thinking that they really didn't need to tell him that because just walking sometimes created this this pain in his back that would make him feel like he'd been stabbed with a knife. And since this disease was potentially fatal, and there really was no medical treatment at the time, his parents decided to try an alternative because they just did not give up. So they took him to see a holistic doctor who, I guess a couple of doctors actually, who practiced and lived in a trailer house situated in the middle of a field on the outskirts of town. And their names were Dr. Alan Bain and Dr. Ida Harmon. They were affectionately known as Doc and Ida. And they started working on him. And within a few weeks, he felt much better. And the pain he'd been experiencing was much less frequent and much less severe. So, after about a month, he'd just about forgotten he was ever sick. And his parents took him back to that medical clinic. And when they ran the tests again on him, the tests were all negative. And he said that was really the first time that he'd ever heard the phrase spontaneous remission. And that's what the doctors had said. And they were kind of consulting among themselves, saying, whatever we did must have worked. And, of course, they hadn't done anything. And Dr. Brad knew that in his heart, that what these alternative doctors had done had actually worked by following these 4 simple steps that made conditions right for recovery. So really, that was such a powerful and influential experience for him that he decided then and there that he wanted to be a doctor when he grew up. But not just any kind of doctor. He wanted to be that kind of doctor. And if he had to practice in a trailer house in the middle of a muddy field, well, that was okay with him. So, Doc and Ida had treated people by the busload, and they came from all over the United States. And really, they were considered miracle workers. And his life would never be the same after this experience with them. Can you imagine that? Well, he remembered very distinctly lying on his back on their table during a treatment session. And he was telling Dr. Harmon, he said, when I grow up, I want to do what you do. And she replied, no, you don't. If you go to school, you'll never learn the right way. They'll fill your head so full of dogma and nonsense that you'll never be able to think for yourself again. Well, he wanted to learn this because it worked. So he decided to go into the healing arts. And because of, this really profound experience he had, he He developed a habit of praying for assistance to the powers from up above. And there were many times he said there were people who came into his office that he just didn't know how to help them. And, but he did know where to turn for help. And so that's where he received his assistance, was from up above. And those of you that have read the book certainly recognize that this is how this process came about, was by asking and receiving the help. And it's really very simple. It's amazing how simple this whole thing is. Well, now it's your turn to discover this power, that our minds and bodies are intricately connected, and the subconscious mind is in control of our health. And emotions are made of energy. They're created by our bodies, and emotional energy can become trapped in the body and may contribute to physical, mental, and emotional issues. Releasing emotions can empower us to feel better. You already have what it takes. Believe it or not, you do. And I want to help you discover your energy healing superpower. So you do deserve better. Society doesn't always focus on prevention. We find that we often wait until we're desperate. And a crisis then develops, and we find that that requires drastic intervention. And many treatments cover up symptoms. How many of you, let's see by your show of hands, how many of you have been unsatisfied with the classic solutions available to you for your situations? Yeah. Kind of many of you have been there and done that. All right, let's put the hands down here and let's just see, is anyone taking a medication right now to relieve a symptom? Okay, yeah, quite a few of you. All right. Now, is anyone taking over 3 medications? Yeah, and I have a feeling there's probably some of you that may be even taking more. We certainly know that that's probably not the path you necessarily want to be on, and looking for other alternatives there for that. Well, let's talk about, there are generally 4 reasons why people live with problems. And number one of those is accepting limitations. Okay, thinking that pain is normal and deciding that you're just not equipped to be able to do anything about it. We recognize that Western medicine is incredible in so many things, and we are so grateful for them. Addressing broken bones and emergencies and surgeries that save lives, but often the things that are bothering us cannot be detected by what they call just regular testing methods. People are often told, we really don't know what's wrong with you. Now, I just have a question. How many of you have been told by the raise of hands that, we just don't know what's wrong with you? Okay, yeah, many of you. Look at that. Look at that. Yeah. Okay. Well, when Dr. Brad was practicing many years ago in Southern California, the sickest people who'd been turned away from the Mayo Clinic and the Johns Hopkins University were told, just to go home because they really didn't have any answers for them. So somehow these people would find their way to Dr. Nelson's office, and he would use the emotion code and the body code on them, and they would recover. And we do not claim to cure or heal anyone, But what we're doing with this process is identifying and releasing imbalance from the body that allow the body to function as it was designed to the best of its abilities. So, what you're doing here today is you're learning about information, and that kind of takes us to our second topic here of, a lot of people don't know about this. There's a lack of information. And part of that information is not understanding your energetic nature. In fact, underestimating the power that emotions have over you, perhaps maybe believing that you are only a physical being. Sometimes people ignore their GPS. Now, we should actually change this to say EPS. That should be your emotional guidance system, or EGS. It would be the right term there, because you know emotions are there to give color and direction to our lives, and not to punish us. They really are a sophisticated guidance system. So often when we feel emotions, we do not know how to handle them or what to do with them. And we find ourselves shoving them down and suppressing our emotions or ignoring our feelings. You know, Emotions are really there to steer us. So think about, a resentment. If you're feeling this emotion of resentment, that could possibly be a signal that maybe you're feeling taken for granted and you might need to set a boundary. Now, sometimes there's also what we call a secondary gain, which can be defined as getting something out of the problem you're having, like maybe receiving attention. Your illness can become your identity. Sometimes people don't feel like they get the attention they need unless they constantly talk about how terrible they feel in order to receive sympathy. So I want you just to take a moment, and I want you to kind of go inward, close your eyes, and just think about if what you are experiencing with your condition at this time is serving you in some way. Does a headache or a stomach ache come on when you know you have to attend a family function that maybe you don't want to attend? Does the intensity increase so that you really, it's there and you just don't feel well enough to go? How many of you have children who get stomach aches before they go to school? Their body is experiencing stress and it's manifesting it as a symptom. We go through life constantly trying to sort out what is true and what is untrue. At one point in time on the people on this planet believed that the world was flat. No matter what else was presented, they were convinced of this, and that if you sailed to the end of it, you would fall off. Now, with greater knowledge and experience, we've come to know that this is an untruth, because with greater knowledge, we've learned that the world is round. That is true. Well, sometimes, we find ourselves getting stuck in an old way of doing things, such as there's only one authority who has all the answers. That's just the box we have to stay in. And, it's really freeing when we discover something that just feels right. It's natural for us to shift towards truth. It's almost like having an epiphany, kind of like an aha moment, like, oh, yeah, aha, okay. So let me go ahead and share with you three things I think you need to know. You are pure energy, just like everything else. And emotions are also pure energy. You know, you look at these pillars, they're solid. You know, our homes are energy, the desk you're sitting at, the computer you're watching, this webinar on, all of that is energy. And it's kind of fascinating to think about that our emotions can actually become trapped within the energy field of the body, and they can create imbalances that can lead to a problem. They've got their own emotional frequency. Every individual emotion does. You think about, you know, when you feel happy, you feel a certain way, don't you? And it's amazing. But then when you feel sorrowful, that is so opposite of feeling happy. And every emotion is a chemical reaction. It is and it's released at the end of a nerve fiber, and that's known as a neurotransmitter. So, for example, you know, when you feel embarrassed, what happens? You know, often our face gets red, our cheeks get flushed. This is a chemical response to feeling embarrassed. Well, for the most part, you know, we do process our emotions that we feel during the day, but occasionally, sometimes these emotions are felt intensely. And this is what will generate the frequency of a trapped emotion within the energy field of the body. That often leads to an imbalance or a problem that our body manifests. Let's understand energy a little bit more. Everything is made of energy, some as physical matter, some as invisible. You are actually pure energy. You have an energy body, an energy spirit. Now, that is also known as your ki or chi or prana. And your physical body is energy in the form of matter. Think about what Einstein shared with us. He said, you know, one type of energy will affect another type of energy. Therefore, we are made of energy and we are affected by other energies. Emotions are energy and they do affect our body and our spirit. Negative emotions are a problem for everyone. And now, you know, we create our emotions. They're based on what we're experiencing. And sometimes old emotional baggage or emotional energy gets stuck in the body from experiences that we've had. You know, that's one thing I love about this process is that people don't have to go back and relive terrible, horrible, no good, bad days in their lives in order to get rid of emotional baggage. You know, we're just identifying the residual from experiences that have happened and clearing them out. Well, the emotional cycle, you know, emotions should be generated or created, and they are experienced and then processed. They're let go of automatically. And as we've mentioned, of course, emotions that are felt intensely can become trapped when they're not processed all the way. So we just call that a trapped emotion. Trapped emotions may cause some problems. They imbalance your energy field, which then can become a symptom like you're starting to feel uncomfortable. What's going on? They can morph into major problems. Now, they may cause some physical problems like abnormal cell growth or blood pressure issues, blood sugar imbalance, brain fog, maybe some discomfort in your chest, digestive issues. That's a big deal today, isn't it? Dizziness, ear issues, fatigue, unknown fatigue, so tired, head discomfort, heart problems, hormonal issues. Boy, our hormones definitely rule the roost. So important for those to be balanced. Immunity, of course, is top notch there as well. These trapped emotions can cause perhaps joint discomfort. You can find discomfort going on in your knee, your back, your neck, thinking, where would this have come from? Also, muscle discomfort, neck and back discomfort, nervous system issues, organ and gland malfunctions. We're such an intricate system, compilation of systems, and they need to be functioning in order for us to be at our optimum. They can cause reproductive and sexual issues, respiratory and sinus issues, skin problems, sleep issues, vision problems, weight issues. Raise your hands if you are or have experienced any of these that we've just reviewed here today. Yeah. You bet. You bet. Okay. Trapped emotions may cause emotional and mental issues, addictions, anger, anxiousness, eating disorders, feeling empty or sad or disconnected, learning disabilities, loneliness, low self-esteem, problems with our memory, mood swings, negativity, nightmares, panic issues, phobias, self-harm, self-sabotage, sexual issues, social fears, stress, being stuck in the past, trust issues. Now, any of you who have used either the emotion code or the body code to release or clear out the underlying interfering energies that can contribute to any of these conditions, you know that you have received a new lease on life. You know, for instance, I had terrible back problems for about 20 years. And I did everything short of surgery to try to relieve the discomfort. And it wasn't until I found the emotion code and the body code and used it consistently on myself that I was able to become free of those sharp, stabbing, crippling discomfort that accompanies sciatica. Now, many of you can relate to that, I'm sure. And I will never forget the day it was released. There was just this spontaneous, like, click, 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 click movement, you know, in my lower back. And it sounded and it felt much like a chiropractor adjustment, but I wasn't at the chiropractor's office. I was in my own home, you know, and at that moment, I wish that I could have just turned my head around somehow to see what in the world was going on in my lower back. And I was actually astounded at how my body responded once these layers of interference were released. And you know, I have been free of that issue for 10 years now. Think about that. In fact, I've even taken up pickleball, and I have the freedom and the mobility and ability to move. And that just brings such joy and happiness to my heart. I love that. Well, trapped emotions can hurt your heart too. You may have a heart wall, which is a buffer against heartache. And it can also cause trouble connecting with others and feeling happy and creating abundance. And there's just so many things that a heart wall is it contributes to in our lives. Now, you also, you know, here's another reason is you want to release these trapped emotions as soon as possible, because the more you have, the more you'll create. Now, as you're thinking about the condition that you're experiencing right now, sometimes our responses to this can be compared to two people on a boat. So I want you to think about, one is a drowner because he accepts his fate and gives up. And the other is a swimmer and refuses to give up and looks for alternatives. Who do you want to be? I want to see right into the chat box. Where do you fall in that category? Are you a swimmer or a drowner? Okay. I see lots of swimmers here. Fantastic. Okay. Well, this is a fun testimonial. Cameron at 4.5 got unintentionally locked in an indoor bathroom and was unable to get out. He was very frantic and panicked. The door had to be taken down by the hinges in order for him to get out. And a month later, his mother said he was experiencing intense distress, said that he was experiencing intense distress that he had never had before. She allowed me to try the emotion code on him, and I found the trapped emotional energy of abandonment. And I released that, and he's had no further distressing incidents. So sweet. So the emotion code could help you ease emotional and physical discomfort and remove a potential underlying cause of illness and move you out of the past and into the present. Help you to process your feelings better. Now, how do we do this? Okay, let's get down to brass tacks. First, what we do is discover it, we expose it, we release it, and then we're empowered. Now, let's go a little bit more into this as far as discovering it. Realize that your body may be trying to tell you something. Maybe there's a trapped emotion that's causing this discomfort. When we're feeling something unusual, it's really your body talking to you, it's communicating with you, and it's telling you, I need your attention. I'm not feeling well today. I need you to use the emotion code or body code to find these underlying reasons why. And really, it's training ourselves to use this process before taking a pain reliever, because your liver will thank you for it. Next, we expose, we gain information, we ask the right questions. We look for information in your subconscious because your subconscious holds the key. All information about trapped emotions may be found in the subconscious mind, because 99%, or studies show that your subconscious is about 99% of your intelligence. It is a massive database of information, and it knows about you and it knows your needs. So how do we find a trapped emotion? Well, really, no high-tech machinery is necessary, just your body and the emotion code. And, really, when you think about it, your body, we can get answers from your body. It's really a hotline to the subconscious mind, and it'll show us yes or no answers. It's a skill that you can learn and practice. In fact, you can use it for yourself and others. And muscle testing is used by 40% of the chiropractors in the United States now. The next step is to release it. How is this done? Well, through intentional energy, by setting intentional energy. Our thoughts and intention are very, very powerful. And this is amplified by magnetic energy. A magnet is a tool that is a positive energy force, which is this energy is placed into the acupuncture system, and it flows through the entire body. And the trapped emotion is eliminated. The release takes seconds. You're just going to be, those of you that are brand new, this is going to be so surprising how quick and easy this is. And once we identify that, clear it out, that emotion can finally process. Once it's released, it does not return. This is very empowering to be able to have control over our own health. This process, the body responds automatically to. It really has this natural ability to recover now that conditions are more right to do so. Oftentimes there's instant changes. People can receive relief quickly, But other times, maybe there's more layers to this and it requires more time and repetition, and you use the emotion code as desired. Well, some people ask us, how often should we do a session or work on ourselves or our loved ones? Most people can release 1 to 10 emotions during a session. And most can do maybe one, maybe up to 5 sessions a week. We might have to test and see. And each session generally runs between 10 to 25 minutes where the body will release accurately. And eventually you'll find just maintenance is only, it's kind of fun to get up in the morning and say, oh, do I have a trapped emotion about that argument I had last night with my husband? You can just clear that. Or do I have a heart wall? Okay, here's another really fun testimonial. After learning about the emotion code with animals, I decided to use it with my dog. He was super anxious and stressed out, particularly around cows in the neighboring field. He was frightened and usually barking madly at them from the fence line. It occurred to me to use the emotion code. It was so remarkable what happened. I cleared a number of trapped emotions, and within 30 minutes of the session, I went out looking for him. I found him laying down right next to the fence, happily licking the face of a cow through the fence. To other people, that might sound like nothing, but to me, it was a miracle. Immediate and obvious proof of the power of the emotion code. While I've studied various types of energy healing modalities over the past decade, using muscle testing, doing belief and emotion clearing work, your system resonates very much. So methodical, clear, and easy. And this is from Bernadette in New Zealand. And last night I had a client who emailed me and said, sometimes you just don't realize how powerful this work is until you feel it for yourself. Did you know that we can do this work at a distance? You do not need to be in the same room as the person you're working on. You can make a long distance connection using muscle testing because energy has no boundaries, and anyone can learn to do this. Well, here's the moment I think some of you've been waiting for. We've got lots of people volunteering, and let's get ready to see how we can use the emotion code in action here. So we've had the volunteers writing in, raising their hands. I'm going to do a little bit of adjustment here with our screen so we can work with the program. All right. Okay, great. We've got that. Now let's just look at all of these volunteers. Whoa, let's see what we can do here. Okay, all right. Oh, and I think I need to come on board here. And I know I was on camera earlier, and there we go. I'm back. Okay. Hello, everybody. Oh, I'm so happy that all of you could join us. We could learn together this important work. This is fabulous. Okay. Well, there's many of you that would like some assistance here today. Let's see what we can do. How about Susan L? Susan L, are you able to unmute yourself and join us? Susan?
Hello.
Susan L. Hi, Susan?
Yes.
Are you
Hi.
there?
I am.
Welcome. Hello. Hello. So happy to have you join us on our webinar. Where are you calling in from?
Raleigh, North Carolina.
Okay. Okay. Beautiful, beautiful area, huh? Okay, Susan, what is going on with you?
Well, I've had bilateral hip replacements, and my left hip has never been right, and because of that, it's also in my lower back.
Oh,
So,
wow. When did that take place?
about 3 years at this point.
Okay, and you've been in pain ever since?
Well, yeah, sometimes it gets better, but it's pretty much constant. Yeah.
So you went in for hip replacement because
Mhm.
obviously you had pain, and then
Right.
you had surgery hoping that that would be corrected, and you're still in pain. How do you
Right.
feel about that?
Kind of discouraged. Yeah, I almost wish I had
Yeah,
done it. Yeah, yeah.
I've been very discouraged. Okay, all right. Well, before we get started, well, Susan, just real quick, how did you learn about Dr. Nelson and the emotion code?
There was actually, I went to a talk maybe several months ago about, and there was a practitioner there. And so I had heard about
Oh,
it then. And I was just given the book, The Emotion Code, last week. So I read it and kind of wanted to get more information now.
wonderful. Well, I'm certainly glad you're on board here. Okay, what if you've read the book, you've got that helps me kind of understand your background a little bit here. So let's just take a moment. We want to draw upon the powers that are up above. That's where we believe this work has come from, and that Dr. Brad's been inspired to receive this so that we can help ourselves and help our loved ones in our sphere of influence. And so we'll start with that. Okay. Okay, thank you. Okay, so Susan, I have your permission to go ahead and make a energy proxy connection with you using muscle testing, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I like to use the ring and ring method. That's sort of what I do. I put pads on my fingers together, and that's where I make my connection with you. So I'm just going to set that thought and intention. My name is Susan. My name is Susan. My name is Susan. Look at that energy transfer right there. Now I would only do that with your permission. That is an energy exchange thanks to quantum physics there. Okay, and let's just ask your body, what's our top priority here for Susan? Is is it your low back? Is it your left hip? It's actually left hip. So Susan, what's the intensity of that discomfort there on that scale of 1 to 10?
Uh, 7.
Oh, it's quite significant. And that's been going on for about 3 years.
3
And
years.
how young are you?
66.
Okay. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to come over to our emotion code chart. Okay. So for those of you that are brand new to it, we're going to be trying to locate, we will locate a trapped emotion that's associated with this left hip discomfort that Susan's experiencing it. So we've got column A and we've got column B, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows there in odd rows and even rows. So because of her proxy connection, her body knows exactly what I'm looking at here and how to identify to me what this is. All right, so we just asked the body. This is how we ask. This is our process we went through with our slides with you. So is there a trapped emotion that is contributing to this discomfort that Susan is experiencing in her left hip? Yes. Now, is that in column A? No, it's in B. Did you see how my fingers just slipped right through? That is an untruth. Remember we talked about truth and untruth? But it's in column B. That's true. So a strong statement your body will respond to as true. Okay, now let's ask, is it an odd row or is it even? Okay, you can see that again. That was odd. No, that's just not true. It's an even. So we're in B. Let's see, are we in B2? No, it's in B4. This is in B6. All right. So then we just ask, which trapped emotion in B6 is contributing to this discomfort that you're experiencing in your left hip? And we'll test through those. You can see we have a dialogue here. Is there a trapped emotion that can be released? Yes. We use the emotion code chart in columns A and B. We identify rows 1 through 6. We identify the emotion. All right, we're about at this point right here. So is it pride? Is it shame? Is it shock? It's actually shock. Okay. And I just test that. Is that shock? Yes. Okay. Can we clear that? Or do we need to know anything more about that? I've got to know. So if that's, if you've got to know, you can just go ahead. We'll go through the process. Otherwise, if you need to know more information, you can follow this flow chart down. You can ask, what age did this occur? Or was it absorbed for someone? Was it about a specific life event, or do we need to know the location on the body to clear it? So this sort of walks you through, various aspects. It could be inherited, a lot of different options. But right now, we just know we've identified the trapped emotion of shock, and we can clear it. So the process is to take the magnet, which is a positive energy force, and set that thought and intention to clear. I'm releasing this trapped emotion of shock from Susan. Okay, and then I just check. Did I clear that? Yes. Okay, so now let's see if there's anything else we can assist her with here today. So is there another trapped emotion that we can clear that is contributing to this discomfort in the left hip for Susan? Yes. Okay. Is that in column A? No, it's in B. And is it an odd row? Yes. Okay. B1, B3, B5. All right. So first one there. And that's actually conflict, trapped emotion of conflict. Okay. That's confirming that. All right. And can we release that? We can't. Do we need to know further information about it to clear it? An age, a location on the body? You can see no, 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 no. And generally what that's telling you is the body knows exactly what that is and it is ready to clear it. So once again, we'll take this magnet and with 3 swipes over my governing meridian, setting that thought and intention, releasing this trapped emotion of conflict. Right from Susan. And did we clear that? Bingo. Okay. All right, Susan, just in the interest of time, I'm just curious. I don't know if you're in a position where you can stand up, maybe kind of rotate your hips a little bit, your waist. Give us kind of a reading on that hip, just with what we've been able to do so far. Are
Oh,
you
wow.
experiencing a shift in that?
Yeah, that's a lot better.
Oh, good. What would you rate it at right now on that scale?
Wow. 2?
A 2, a 2. We're down to a 2. Okay. Fantastic. Well, of course, the goal here is to be able to go to 0, and so as you learn this, you just keep working on yourself. Or if you need help, we can certainly help you too, or another certified practitioner can, and just to, release the rest of those layers until there's nothing there. That's the beauty of this work. Well, thank you so much, Susan. We're so glad that you could join us today, and we'll
Thank
go
you.
ahead and mute you, and let's continue on and just see if we can work on some other people here today. Let's do Laura S. Laura S. Laura, are you
Hello.
with us?
Yeah.
Laura, hello.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank
Oh,
you.
so, oh, thank you for joining us.
Thank you
Where are
for
you
having
calling
me.
from?
I'm in Austin, Texas.
Okay, all right. And what's happening for you?
I 12 years ago had most of my small intestines removed and my gallbladder. So I just have, um, GI issues, but I believe them to be now very emotional caused now. It's not, I know there's the anatomical situation, but I think I live in fear and trying to control what I'm eating, trying to control everything to make everything okay as far as the traffic, so to speak. And
Hmm.
so it's caused a lot of stress. And I've done a whole lot of, I don't take medication anymore. I changed my whole diet. I'm even in the process right now of doing like a brain retraining program, but it just feels like a lot of strong energy that is, or the trapped energy is happening for me.
Oh, a lot of things going on. I'm so sorry. How
Thank you.
discomforting for you to be experiencing that after you had surgery to try to help it. What's
Yeah.
the intensity of it?
Um, right now it's probably about a 6, but earlier today it was a 8 or 9.
About an 8 or
Calm
9. Wow. Okay. And how long has this kind of been present for
down.
you?
12 years
Oh,
since
way too
I was
long.
pregnant with my daughter then, yeah, and she turns 12 in 2 weeks, so.
So, Mama wants to be well.
Mhm.
Yeah, you would like your life back. So true. What's your age, Laura? How young are you?
I am 44.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, let me make sure I've broken my connection. Okay, I'm back to me. Yes. Okay, let's go ahead and petition in your behalf.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Laura, do I have your permission to go ahead and make a connection with you?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, see, I can just do that in my mind. My name is Laura. All of a sudden that energy exchanges, which is fantastic. Okay, if we were using the body code, we would expand a little bit deeper into this. In fact, I want to just kind of check something out of interest. What percent of your digestive system is functioning at its total capability at this time? Is it greater than 10%, greater than 25? Is it greater than 50? Okay, is it greater than 10%? Is it greater than 25? No, what is it functioning at? Okay, we've really got about 6%. No wonder you're not feeling well.
Mm.
Okay, there are some imbalances here going on, that's for
Mm.
sure. Well, let's check to see is there a trapped emotion that's contributing to this disruption of your digestive system? And I've got a yes. Okay, is that in column A? No, that's in B. Is it an odd row? Yes. Okay, B1, B3, B5. Okay, our first one is some conflict. Trapped emotional conflict. And can we go ahead and clear that? We can. Okay, so conflict could be a disagreement with someone, or it could be even with yourself, trying to make up your mind about should I do this, should I do that, kind of internal conflict. Okay, so we can go ahead and release that, set that thought and intention, releasing this trapped emotion of conflict. From Laura, did we clear that? Yes. Is there another trapped emotion that's interfering with the function of the digestive system that's contributing to these GI problems for her? Yes. Is this in column A? No, it's in B. Is it an odd row? Yes. B1, B3, B5. Okay, this one is terror, trapped emotion of terror.
Mm.
All right. And actually, we're finding a lot of that at this time in
Mm.
life. Okay, we've got a lot of terror showing up with clients. Okay, so can we go ahead and clear that? Yes. Do we need further details? We don't. For the most part, the body's pretty content just to identify what it is and clear it out. It already knows what it is. And occasionally we need to get a little bit more information. That's why we have this flow chart here available for you. Okay, can we go ahead and release that? Yes. All right, so I'm releasing this trapped emotion of terror. And we clear that? Yes. Okay, and again, Laura, our time is short here.
Yeah.
I don't know, are you able to take some deep breaths, stand up? Let's see where that is just by addressing a few of these. You have some shifting going on with that yet?
It's hard to say. I do feel like a different feeling in like right in the center of my gut, like just above my belly button. It feels different. I don't know if it's better or worse but it does feel maybe
Drop
solid, maybe. I don't,
solid, okay.
it's different.
Well,
It's
and
just
some
different.
energy is shifting. You're noticing some things happening there. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what happens. The body starts shifting this energy around. Well,
Mm-hmm.
do you own the body code or the emotion code? Do you know how to do this for yourself?
No, I just was told about it by my acupuncturist on Sunday, and she had a intuitive feeling that I need to check it out because I'm also
Oh,
a
awesome.
therapist and myofascial release practitioner, so it kind of goes along with how I roll anyway. So
Yes, yes. Well, let me continue on here
yeah,
with our presentation, and we'll show you how you can actually learn this yourself
okay, thank
and
you.
become really a pro at this. Well, thank you. Thank you so much for joining us. All
Appreciate
right.
it.
Okay, I'll say goodbye to you and break my connection here. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so let's go ahead and continue on now. Well, you know what's kind of fun? Let me just share with you. This is the sweetest thing. I know our time is slipping away very rapidly, but I think this is pretty profound that this mother was able to help her teenage son feel better with the emotion code because he had, bouts of anxiousness. And I know lots of you have anxiousness going on. And he's also diagnosed with ADHD and he was on the autism spectrum. So she said she asked him if they could do some emotion code work one day. And he was having this severe anxiousness and to see if that would help him. And she started doing the muscle testing and she used a magnet to release the imbalances. And just as she finished, she said he got up and he said, matter of factly, bye, Mom, I'm all good now. And he started laughing and out loud and due to the relief and the happiness, that it had worked. And think about it. Imagine how you would feel if you could help your own family members. Like many of you, I have family all over the US, and it is such a comfort to know that I can help them, even at a distance, especially when challenging issues arise. No longer do we need to stand back and wring our hands and wonder what to do to help when we feel helpless. And by the way, this Kristen in this testimonial above, she's gone on to become a certified emotion code practitioner. So do you want to try this yourself? Well, you may feel better prepared to care for yourself and your families and pets if you do. And you can get started today by enrolling in the Emotion Code certification course and discover the power that is within you. So this is available at emotioncodecertification.com. That's in our chat box as well. And everyone can do the emotion code. No experience is required. All training is included. Now, some of you might be saying, well, what if I'm not good at this? So think about it this way. A brain surgeon is not exceptional in surgery on his first day of medical school. Even the most successful people in the world will tell you that it took practice and more practice to become proficient at their profession. There is truly no greater calling in the world than to be able to help others, to be their best selves and improve their quality of life. Did you know that at the moment you decide to want something, you actually create an energetic vibration? And the next step is to make the physical world match that, match what your energy has called into play, because that is how you get good at it. Can I still help others if I have problems? Well, let's clear the air on this one thing that keeps people from following their authentic calling. Their heart wants it, but their head tries to keep them safe and say, oh, I just can't do this. And maybe that's you, but maybe it's not. Many people will tell us, they say, well, since I'm struggling with my own problems, how can I ever hope to help others with theirs? And it's really an amazing phenomenon that we find. It comes to pass when we help others. Those actions in turn help us. Well, another great advantage of this is that you can do what you love. You have the option to create your own personal business once you're certified in the Emotion Code. Or some people go through our certification program just to become more proficient in helping those close to them. So you can make a living doing what you love. And if you are certified in other modalities, you can certainly, blend them together or, use them in compatibility, I should say. All right, well, you might be asking yourself, is this your energy healing path? May I put this in perspective for you? You may be thinking about going all the way and becoming a master at this. And if so, you can. Emotion Code certification is open to everyone who wants to do it. It is the first step in your healing journey. And it's so important because it's foundational to everything that we do after that. And after that is you can learn the body code, which you see that information there too. And then after you learn the body code, you know what? We have a certification program in that, and they are two separate certification programs. And past that, we also offer advanced courses beyond those as well. But it all starts back here at the Emotion Code certification. So some people ask, well, how long does certification take? Family and friends are important to us too. And we know they're important to you as well. So the exciting news is that this certification completion generally takes between 40 to 60 hours of work to accomplish. So there is a 6-month time period to complete your practicum. And this only takes about 2 hours per week on average, or maybe, you can complete it in 6 months or less. In fact, we have found that many of our students end up graduating early because they find they're having so much fun helping others. It's really hard to stop. So here's a suggested timeline. If you want to go through our certification program, you can submit your application and tuition fee, fill out your bio and submit your photo. A student advisor will be assigned to you. That all happens on day 1. You can complete our e-learning online videos and quizzes and final test, or you can attend a live emotion code seminar. That can happen between week 1 and 3. You begin your practice sessions. You receive feedback from us at about 30% completion, feedback again at 60% completion. That's between week 4 and 20. Then you submit your student session portfolio and 2 letters of recommendation. Submit an agreement around week 20, and then receive feedback at 100% completion and get certified around week 24. Some of you are asking, what type of sessions can I do? Well, you can do them in person, or you can do them over the phone or Skype, or WhatsApp app, lots of things out there you can communicate with. Also email. So why should you get certified? Well, it can help you help yourself, and it can increase your emotional intelligence. And really, it's just nothing greater than helping people and animals really make things happen. I love the flexibility. You can make your own schedule, and you can work from anywhere where there is a internet connection. You also have the freedom to travel because of that. It helps you to become credentialed. You gain a depth of knowledge. It's really easy and very fun, and we guarantee you will love this. All right, and we're going to throw in an enrollment bonus. So if you enroll today, you'll receive our guide to resolving subconscious resistance to recovery. Now, excuse me, this can be used with the emotion code to address resistance and difficult issues. So remember, look in our chat box as well. To learn more or enroll, you can visit emotioncodecertification.com. And we've got the 7-day trial for the Body Code app, our new one. If you need more information, this information is in our chat, discoverhealing.com, drbradleynelson.com, discoverhealing.com/contact, and we've got a phone number here. Okay, well, you've made it. Fantastic. Look at all of you on this call. It's free gift time, and we want to give you the bonus muscle testing video as promised, because you're going to be learning vital information from your subconscious using that muscle testing. So keep in mind that this recording of today's webinar will be accessible for some time on the website, our discoverhealing.com website videos, and we'll be changing those occasionally. So, but you'll receive today's, and you'll receive the muscle testing video. There's a link in the chat box to this, so grab it now. Now, also, if you decide to keep going with us and get the Emotion Code Complete Introduction Package with our certification, you'll be joining the family. And we want you to stay on if you've got time today. I know we're running a little late. I apologize. We're going to do a brief question and answer. So if you've bought the product, stay on, and we hope to hear from the rest of you soon. But before you go, just one last thank you so much for attending today. And I hope that we'll be able to meet up with you in the future. So thanks again for attending. We appreciate you spending your time with us.